Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin Reviews for yet another episode, and in today's episode I'm actually going to be reviewing this series called Shogun. Now before I get into that, where I get into the plot, how I feel about it and things of that good old nature, I will mention how I got into this show and just why I decided to just review this. So pretty much, right, I have this friend called Manraj who's from New Zealand. He's one of my schoolmates, and he was like, from Fraser and whatnot, he's like, yeah James, you have to watch this series, it's so awesome and stuff like that. And it came out this year. He's like, oh, it's so awesome, the writing, the acting, the directing and all this kind of stuff is so awesome. But also on top of this, right, what really caught my eye was the fact that there was promotions of this, there was advertisements and things of that nature, so it just really stuck out to me, to where I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to get around to this. And so because of that, I'm also a really big like anime nerd. I really like some Korean stuff. I've even reviewed Korean stuff on this show. I'm even in the process of just watching anime at the moment. Like, I've been watching Fist of the North Star. I've also just been reading manga. I just love Japanese media, and they always seem to make these interesting, compelling ideas, and they're just good at telling stories in general. So once you get outside of that, where I'm bringing you into context, you are understanding where I'm coming from. This show is pretty much this historical epic drama where you have this guy called Lord Toranaga, who's actually the same actor who's the guy from John Wick 4. He's like the Japanese dude that you see, one of the Japanese dudes you see in John Wick 4, and he pretty much has this thing going on where he's trying to bring peace to Japan, and it's depicting that sort of thing. And then you've also got these Portuguese settlers. You've also got this one like English guy who's called Anjin, and it's John Blackthorne, where he is this kind of guy settling in. You've also got Mariko. There's all these different kind of actors and things that play into it, to where you get to see these different character perspectives within the show. And so you get to understand their perspective, how they fit in, and stuff like that. I'm not going to go on and on and on and on and on and on about the plot, because I'd probably spend ages on end even describing this series to you, because it's such a good series. So let's dive into how I feel about this show. So Shogun, right, it's got 10 episodes. Most of them are an hour long, and for me personally, I have to sit here and say this right now, that I'm pretty much in agreement with pretty much 100% of the internet by saying this, that this is probably some of the best television of all time, because like you've got this immaculate sense of the word, where you've got like, right, the directing, the acting, the cinematography, the way that things are shot, the way the things are acted, right. You've got Japanese actors doing a good job here. But also you've got like the English dude, the Anjin guy, the John Blackthorne dude, talking Japanese, and it's kind of authentic, where you get to see different sides of points of views and things like that, where you get to see a bit of Japanese, you get to see a bit of English, and even a bit of Portuguese from those Portuguese settler characters and stuff like that. And it's just really interesting to where how it's all articulated and everything like that, and it's amazing. However, there was this one point in the series, I don't know when it was, but it was like the first couple of episodes, right, it was kind of slow, but after that, right, it was kind of slow, and then there was a bit of action, but towards the end it kind of all goes into this crescendo where it just all makes sense. All the onions, the layers just peel back like an onion, right. It just all works out in the end, and so that is what I absolutely love about the series. It's just the way it is shot, and episode 9 is some of the best television of all time as well, because of that thing that happens towards the end of it. I would love to spoil this series, but it's only been out for the past few months, so I won't spoil it here. But once you get to see episode 9, that is just amazing. That was just amazingly written television. So, and also just episode 10 as well, the way that was it just cemented itself that yeah, this was all about a slow burn, character driven story. And also I do want to mention this, that there were people comparing this to oh, it's Game of Thrones, it's Game of Thrones. It is absolutely not Game of Thrones. Okay, there is political intrigue and there's drama and there's tension, but that's not even true at all. This is a Japanese/Western production about Japanese history with Westerners and Portuguese and Europeans and stuff like that related into it. They're not the same thing, and it's just that kind of annoying exaggeration that you see online where it's like, this is like this thing, this is like this thing. No, it's not, right? If you've seen Game of Thrones and you've seen Shogun, they're completely different things. They might have some similarities, but they're just completely different things. And so once you get outside of that kind of stuff where I've talked about how I feel about this show, how would I rate this out of 10? I would rate Shogun, right, probably the first 5 to 7 or 8 episodes were like an 8 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10, because it was really engaging at some points, and then other points I kind of got bored at some points because it was just kind of slow. But by episode 9 and 10, all the slowness and all that kind of stuff, all that like really slow stuff that was happening in the series kind of just pays off in the end, where everything makes sense. So it goes from like this 8.5, 9.5 out of 10 show to like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece television series. And so there was so many ways in which I could do this, right? I was doing like some recordings where I was just stumbling and all that, because there's just so many ways to talk about this. Like, it's such a deep layered series and things of that nature. But I hope you enjoyed this review, right? It's a bit of a mix up from that Beekeeper review, and so we just wanted to really talk about something super interesting and super awesome here. So yeah, I'll see you next time on the James Rambling Reviews. Stay tuned for more like it, man. And yeah, that's it. That's my review on Shogun. Hope to see you in another review. Sayonara. Shogun, Japanese production, stuff like that. Western production. Bye.